Hi, I'm Jan, owner of the Cherry Pick Quilt Shop in historical downtown Sevierville. We're located at 115 Bruce Street, and we would love to have you come see us sometime. Today we're going to talk about applique. And a lot of people say they're scared of applique, but we're going to show you some simple things to help make your life much simpler. First of all, we use an applique pressing sheet, and we're going to show you how to use that today with your pattern. This is a finished product of applique. So you know, and this is not actually the one that we're demoing today, but we wanted you to see a finished product. So, first thing you need to do is, you need a product called Heat and Bond. And it comes by the yard. You can buy it by the yard, however much you need. So we have Heat and Bond. So you will take the Heat and Bond. It has a rough side and a smooth side. So the applique piece that we're going to draw off today is this little turtle. So you have to draw your applique piece in parts. In other words, we're not going to draw the whole thing. We're going to do his body, then we're going to do his head. Everything has to be done separately. So this is a light, and you can see through. Put your pattern on your light, and alternative to that is to tape it to a window, and you can see through. You just got to be able to see through it. Another thing that you need to think about is, and read your pattern first, sometimes it tells you to reverse it, which means then on my light you would see this part, or it says it's already reversed, but you've got to pay attention to your pattern. It will tell you if it's reversed or not. This one is already reversed. So I'm going to lay with the picture up, lay my Heat and Bond on the pattern, and we're going to draw it off. So we're going to draw his body's the big piece, and we use a pencil. You are drawing on the smooth side of the Heat and Bond. So we'll draw our body here. And there is overlap in applique, so keep that in mind that you have to have an overlap, and the directions will tell you that also. So I move my Heat and Bond, and I draw the next little line around. So just make sure that you're not drawing on top of each other, because you've got to have multiple pieces. Okay, so we have 3 parts of this turtle drawn off. So the next thing you want to do is we call it fussy cut. Fussy cut these pieces apart. Do not cut right on the lines, and we'll show you why here in just a second. So we have 3 pieces of this little turtle right here. Once you have your pieces fussy cut out of your Heat and Bond, you're going to take your piece of fabric. You are going to lay it on a ironing board or some kind of a mat that you can iron on. The right side of the fabric goes down. That's the way you want to do this. Okay, we'll press it, get a few of the little wrinkles out. Then, the rough side, this is what we drew on. This is the rough side. You're laying this on the wrong side of the fabric. And I'm going to put all 3 pieces on this. We have it in multiple colors, but we'll put all 3 on here for demo purposes. Then you are not going to iron. You are literally just going to set the iron down on those pieces, because we want to press those applique pieces to our fabric. So hold it about 5 to 7 seconds. Pick it up, move it over. And again, you're not ironing, you are literally putting the iron down and picking it right back up. So we have our applique pieces drawn. We now have it on our fabric. Now you will take your scissors. You might want to let this cool just a little bit. Okay. Then we are going to cut on our lines. And that's why you were fussy cutting the Heat and Bond, so that you had a little bit of play there to follow your lines around to cut your applique pieces out. Okay, there's one. Here's our 3 pieces. All right, so now you have, this is the right side of the fabric. Your heat and bond is on your wrong side of the fabric. So then we are ready to use our applique sheet. This is what we're going to do is, this is the same thing that I just did, right side, wrong side, but we're going to build this. So the pattern that you drew from, you are going to lay it under the applique sheet, and we are going to build this turtle piece by piece on an applique pressing sheet so that he'll be all together when we get him done. So we're going to start with his head. So, and I already have these pressed together. So if you see on here, he has eyes and his nose. So we put the big piece of his eyes down first on the pressing sheet because we can see. And then we put the black and then we put the orange. Let's see if this is, yep, okay. So I already have this one done, but the next thing you want to do is take the turtle's head, put it on the pressing sheet, press it to the pressing sheet. And we're not ironing, we're just sticking it on there. That heat and bond allows it to stick on there, and it's a temporary hold so you can build your turtle's head. So then this one kind of goes right here. So then we're going to press his eyes on that piece. Okay, so we're building our turtle. So now we have his head. And you have to kind of look at your pattern to see what was first. So you have his feet, and then his parts of his body, or part of the bottom part of his body this is all different colors. So this is the one that would go last. So we're going to start with the feet right here. We've got his head on there. He has 4 little feet. Now, when you press this, you pull the applique or the heat and bond off. And we're going to put one right here. I always pull the heat and bond off. This is a temporary adhesive to put it on our applique sheet. Let's see which way that goes. Yep, just like this. Okay, there's 2 feet. We're going to press them onto the applique sheet. We're going to take his next 2 feet. And if you kind of follow the picture, you can tell which one goes on top of the other one because you can see that pretty good through the applique sheet. Okay. Okay, at this point, this is what we have. His head and his feet are on here, and we're going to keep going. So the next piece of this little turtle is this piece right here. So again, I'm just following the picture. And if you need to put this under, these pieces lift off this applique sheet really well. Like if I need to get that under his head, just pick his head up, put the piece right under his head. Let's see, where does that go right here? Lay it back down and press it. You can press it right back. As I said, that's a temporary hold and it'll stay in place. And here's the next part of the turtle's body. Right here. There we go. And then the last piece would be his body. And again, we're using heat and bond light. We drew it out, cut it apart. His body goes right here. Okay, here's our turtle all together. So once that cools, we can peel this turtle off in one whole piece. Just got to get him started here. Now the advantage to doing it on here versus doing it straight to fabric is you can move this around. It's not cool enough. Let me fix that. That's not cool enough. It has to be pretty cool to peel off of this applique sheet. I usually let mine sit a little bit longer than I did here at home. Let it cool completely, but we're okay. We got this. Okay, here he is, all together. He's ready to go. So the next step would be to put it on a piece of background, and this is the same process. So we had a piece of background fabric. So he's all together. You put him on your fabric where you want him to go, and then you are going to press that completely down. Since I don't want him on blue, I'll not press it down completely. But again, you just press it down, and when you get it done, your applique is pressed to your background. To finish an applique piece, they tell you to use the stitch of your choice, which we use what's called a blanket stitch. Some people do zigzag. It's up to you what you do, but then you're sewing this in place. So when you pick that up, your turtle or whatever you're appliquing is completely stitched down to your fabric. So that's a simple process for doing applique. We do have some things in the shop that are applique, like quilts. This is called Beatitudes. We have kits for this particular one. We have kits available. That is applique. This is another quilt we have called 101 Maple Street. This is also applique. So the advantage to doing all this is you have built it together on an applique sheet. So you can pick the whole piece up and press it smack down on the piece that you want it to be on, all in one piece. So that's a process for doing applique. We hope you've enjoyed it today. Again, come see us at the Cherry Pit.